These classic scenes that have made their mark in film history. It turns out that the crew is too poor. Forced out, in Back to the Future, Dr. Brown uses the electricity generated by thunder to be used as energy to drive the car. Let the hero travel through time and space. It's a very cool setting. Doctor climbed the bell tower and was struck by lightning. And after the car crosses, to flame tire tracks left behind. It can be called a very memorable shot in the film. But in fact, in the original script, it's not designed that way at all. The reason why it was changed to something like this, just because the budget isn't enough. It is said that in the first edition of the scriptwriter's design is, let the male protagonist explode through the atomic bomb. The energy produced to cross. When Dr. Brown rebuilt a refrigerator, the hero carries it, run to the Nevada nuclear explosion test field. Then an atomic bomb comes down, and he came back. But directors and producers think fridge ideas are risky. In case the child finishes watching, imitate at home, drill into the fridge, freeze yourself. What to do? So it was changed to the male protagonist driving and being bombed by a nuclear bomb. But after finishing the full budget, they found the money in their hands. Not to mention recreating the effects of nuclear explosions in movies. You can't take the whole group to Nevada. In the end, they had no choice, chose the best shot. It is also the most economical electricity as energy for crossing. But who would have guessed? This scene has become a classic in film history. One more point to add. Producer Spielberg himself, still particularly optimistic about drilling refrigerators. The setting of eating nuclear bombs. So after 20 years, used this scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark 4. In Deadpool Part 1, the climax before the war at the end, Deadpool put a big pack of hot weapons, left in the taxi.
But I got such a good heart.
Hey, where's your duffel bag?
God damn it! I'm gonna do this the old-fashioned way.
So he can only rely on physical skills to fight the villain. This hilarious setting, very much in Deadpool's style. No sense of disobedience at all. But in fact, this scene is because the crew really didn't have a budget. A small reversal that I just came up with. In other words, the original design of the director is Deadpool gets out of the car with a big bag of hot weapons, use all kinds of firearms in battle to present an epic battle scene. But the tragedy is, before filming began, the production company slashed another 10% of their budget, let the crew who are not rich to add insult to injury. Finally, say the epic battle scene. I can only helplessly change it into a joke. When I watched Kill Bill, I don't know if you're wondering, heroin cut from head to tail, fights in various famous scenes. How in the showdown against the final boss Bill, how restrained is it? Speak, sitting on a chair and slashing at each other, and it's done with one hand. But in retrospect, the two play like this, it does have a different flavor. After all, it's a love-hate relationship. This slight restraint, another deadly anticlimax technique, it seems to highlight the heroine's state of mind. But in fact, this is not Quentin's original design. Originally, his idea was, the heroine wears a wedding dress on the beach under the moonlight. A high-spec katana showdown with Bills. At least it is more exciting than the last cut on Lucy Liu. But producer Weinstein strongly objected. There are two reasons. First, the movie is too long. Second, the budget is outrageous. So the end was changed to something like this. In addition, after the film is finished, Weinstein still thinks the movie is too long, so it was split into 2 episodes. The two films together sold more than $300 million at the box office. Make more money. The classic horror film Moonlight flustered. First-person perspective killing at the beginning. It's a very clever suspense design. Has been rated as an all-time one of the scariest movie openings. No one thought the murderer turned out to be a 7 or 8-year-old child. But this way of shooting, it wasn't designed by the director in advance, but because the crew didn't have the money to come up with it. Back then, the crew was poor. The total budget is only $325,000. That's a really low budget in Hollywood. And at the beginning of the shoot, they only have enough money to rent the villa for 24 hours. In such a short time, want to set up through the regular lens, take pictures of every room in the house, outside panorama and street. That's impossible. In the end, the director really ran out of ideas. Shoot directly with Steadicam for the first view. No rails, no rocker arms, just work hard for the photographer. Run all over the house with the machine in your arms. But who would have thought? This trick is a bigger investment than a master. It works fine.